In the late 18th century, the thrilling new force of electricity captivated the imaginations of scientists and the public. Experiments revealing its power over bodily tissues hinted at extraordinary possibilities. Some pioneers wondered, could electricity unlock the very mysteries of life and death? Let's journey back in time once more to rediscover another overlooked and misunderstood legend, lost in the unforgiving annals of history. In the bustling Italian city of Bologna, Giovanni Aldini took up this tantalizing question. The nephew and former assistant to the renowned Luigi Galvani, Aldini was driven to understand the deeper secrets of animal electricity. Building on his uncle's research, the young professor conducted audacious experiments aiming not just to comprehend nature's forces, but to harness them in pursuit of the impossible. Aldini demonstrated wondrous effects by applying electrical currents to animal tissues after death, but his ambitions went further, to achieve full reanimation of life in the deceased. In 1802, he embarked on a spectacular public tour to share his investigations across Europe. Crowds gathered, spellbound by the lurid, entertaining thrills of early science. In England, Aldini's experiments reached their most shocking and scandalous point. At the Royal College of Surgeons in London in 1803, he obtained the body of George Forster, a convicted murderer recently hanged at Newgate Prison. In a dramatic demonstration, Aldini inserted metal rods into the corpse's mouth and ears, then connected wires from a powerful voltaic battery. When Aldini completed the circuit, George Forster's jaw quivered, his fists clenched, and his legs kicked as if trying to rise. Gasps filled the hall as the dead man's eyes even seemed to open briefly. The unnerving event caused intense debate. Was Aldini ingenious, or an unholy charlatan tampering with forces beyond his control? In Italy, Aldini's quest continued. Conducting secretive experiments in Milan morgues by night, he meticulously mapped points on cadavers to optimize responses to stimulation. When electrodes touched facial nerves, the faces grimaced as if in pain. With further stimulation, limbs thrashed violently against restraints. Aldini became convinced such involuntary reactions represented early steps toward his eventual goal, the revival of conscious, coordinated life. Rumors of the disturbing experiments soon spread, reaching even a young English author named Mary Shelley. The story continued to live in her imagination for many years after. Over the coming years, her memories evolved from concept to a novel, inspired by the themes of dangerous knowledge and consequences reflected in Aldini's own story about a doctor who wanted to defeat death. The result was her iconic Gothic masterpiece, Frankenstein. The startling reactions that Aldini induced in corpses during his public demonstrations provoked intense debate about the moral implications if his efforts succeeded. Many were spellbound, yet also unsettled. Could electricity truly resurrect the dead? And if so, what did it mean for the nature of life and the soul? Aldini insisted he was not tampering in God's domain, but unlocking latent vital forces still residual in flesh after death. However, the churches accused him of unnatural defiance against divine will. They preached that only God had the power to grant life, not science. Many feared Aldini was delving into dangerous knowledge never meant for mortal minds. The public imagination ran wild with anxiety about the consequences should Aldini progress further. Some envisioned an army of reanimated corpses controlled by an ambitious scientist, evoking chilling dystopian visions. Others speculated whether revived life would possess a soul or be an empty vessel devoid of the divine essence granted by God at birth. The disturbing prospect of this research succeeding caused many sleepless nights around Europe. Aldini tried reassuring skeptics that any initial movements were merely crude reflexes, not true resurrection. But demonstrations on executed prisoners where faces grimaced and limbs thrashed violently only amplified unease. The public remained wary that each small step brought Aldini closer to his ultimate goal, and that the mysteries of life and death should remain sacrosanct. Aldini's research provoked ever-increasing skepticism and alarm as years passed without evidence of true reanimation. His public support gradually eroded. The churches decried his unnatural defiance of God's power over life and death. Much of the scientific community condemned his reckless bending of moral borders. Frustrated but unrelenting, the solitary Aldini continued his electrical experiments long past his prime. The elusive miracle he sought never materialized, Yet in time, Aldini's unconventional innovations proved their worth in other ways. The empirical knowledge gained from his investigations found practical medical applications that would be used to treat the living and to save lives. Techniques he pioneered have laid the foundation for resuscitation methods using electric shocks to revive those at death's door. In subsequent decades, ethical rehabilitation gradually replaced accusations of heresy. Most doctors began to recognize that Aldini demonstrated electricity's potential for prolonging life rather than resurrecting death. His electrodes and galvanic medicine aided treatments for asylums and hospitals. By 1838, the Medical College of Georgia respected him enough to adapt his techniques for modern procedures. Though his grandest vision never materialized, Giovanni Aldini's name slowly regained luster for his unprecedented role in transforming medicine via applied electricity. Today, when resuscitation defibrillators thump rhythms of life and neural implants help the deaf hear, his pioneering influence continues quietly empowering humanity behind the scenes. While many condemned Aldini as tampering with forces beyond human control, his work forced deeper reflection on the ethical complexities at the intersection of science, life, and religion. It highlighted timeless questions about whether any knowledge should remain forbidden and how we can ethically progress as seekers of truth. The complex, controversial legacy of Aldini persists as a lesson on chasing dreams and confronting limits. His fantastical aim to defeat mortality contrasted with his tangible contributions that advanced life-saving equipment through controversy and spectacle. Giovanni Aldini sought to spark life in death itself. Though he could not achieve this, he electrified his era with innovation, showmanship, and timeless inspiration for those who dare to push beyond the known limits for the betterment of all. When lightning briefly flickers across our present-day skies, perhaps it serves to remind us of those dreamers and pioneers who transformed the world by pursuing visions deemed impossible in their time. Thank you for your time and support. We invite you to join us in discovering invisible tales on our channel. What other legends of science, history, and imagination would you like us to dramatize next? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next episode.